Brett, do you agree with Tom Fitton's contention that the DOJ needs to be razed to the ground, salted of the earth?
Well, what I would say is, I listened to Tom. I understand a lot of, and agree with a lot of what he said. But I would say this, Benny, the one thing that a lot of folks don't know is there was a plan. I was part of the transition team and the beachhead team.
Please.
And there was a very thorough plan that was put together by folks like myself, a lot of former U.S. attorneys like myself, former assistant U.S. attorneys, former DOJ high-level executives. And unlike what happened in the State Department with their plan, and unlike several other agencies, the DOJ plan wasn't followed. And when I say wasn't followed, we made recommendations on internal gutting that needed to occur in order for the Attorney General to maintain the capability of implementing this administration's priorities. And I'll give you some specifics.
Wow.
It has long been the view of many of us that know DOJ intimately that the DAG's office had been consuming power in Main Justice for decades. What I mean by that is it was gathering in. Anytime the AG's, the AG has a team and they delegate and they lead the various offices. What the DAG's office has been doing, and largely Comey was a major reason for this to have occurred. The DAG started to pull power in. They become, right now, the DAG is the power core of DOJ. I've said it, many have said it. That's why it's so difficult, if you don't change that, for anybody coming in as AG to actually make the institutional changes that have to be made in order to have the politicals making the decisions at the top. You have over 100,000 employees. Over 100,000 employees in the Department of Justice, 90% of which made campaign contributions to Democrats. Of all the campaign contributions made, 90% have gone to Democrats over the years. I think whether it was Pam or anybody that went in that job, if they didn't have an intimate knowledge of the complexity of DOJ and where the power central core is, and where you're vulnerable, and who's gonna be undermining you, if you don't have that, it is going to feel like every single day you're being attacked and you're being undermined, and you can't implement what the president's, what his priorities are, and that's a little bit what happened. And it's not Pam's fault. It is the entire executive leadership team that has to come together and make those significant changes to the structure and the personnel and who has what authority inside Main Justice. You and I have grown up with all these sci-fi movies and things like that, and you see like Terminator or any of these others where the artificial intelligence starts to gather power, and pretty soon it's the humans that are the ones that are the target. In a lot of ways, that's what has happened with DOJ. It's been consuming power and growing bigger and stronger. And those that really want to get in there and accomplish justice and want to prosecute the bad guys and want to be politically neutral, they're the ones that have lost their voice and lost their authority over the last couple of decades.
So for anybody who's unfamiliar in this audience is very familiar with Brett Tolman, but if you were unfamiliar, Brett spent 30 years at the DOJ as one of the top prosecutors, is this correct?
I have spent over a decade as an assistant U.S. attorney. I've spent almost 30 years working in the criminal justice system. I was 5 years as U.S. attorney. It's been my life's passion. It's been my life's passion to fix the justice system.
You can't get all, you can't, but it would be hard to find a better authority, frankly, than Brett on this issue. And so take his words with extreme weight here. However, there does seem to be something that is conflicting in what you said, Brett. I can't square it exactly. You said that you put together a plan and you brought together a very sophisticated team, and you were part of that team, put together a plan to actually fix the Justice Department. What we were just talking about was that this plan, the plan to fix federal agencies, seems to have gone off quite well in places like the Institute of Peace, USAID, Department of Education, the Pentagon. I mean, it's been unbelievable what the Pentagon's been able to accomplish. This Department of State. To say that there is an immovable deep state and that nothing good will ever happen and nothing will ever change, that's not true, actually. We've been able to see some remarkable changes. Again, Elon was able to salt the earth of USAID. I happened to just catch DC. I happened to be in DC at the right time to watch the letters come down. They were chiseling the letters off. I jumped out of my Uber. I'm like, I gotta get this. It's like I literally jumped out of a moving car to go film them, ripping the letters of USAID off. You can change DC with the right plan. You say it's not Pam Bondi's fault. I'm not like sitting here to be some huge hater or anything like that, right? I want the truth. I'm not trying to scapegoat. But like it sure as hell sounds like Pam Bondi didn't follow the plan. Is that correct? Like, it's like
what I would say is
yeah,
I'll square it. What I would say is it has to be more than the AG. If you don't have the AG and the DAG on the exact same page together, the infrastructure, the power and the authority inside main justice is centralized in the DAG.
So
it's as equally, it is equally the responsibility.
Deputy Attorney General.
That's correct. Blanche and Pam Bondi. And you know, this was an instance in which there were concerns. You didn't have Pam Bondi picking her Deputy Attorney General.
Yeah.
If you recall, that the president announced Todd Blanche before he did the Attorney General.
I work with an executive producer who I've worked with for a decade. His name's ALX. I picked him because I need somebody at my side that is constantly protecting what we're building here as a company. And so that seems crazy.
Smells good.
Yeah.
It is. I think it's one big flaw. I hope it gets remedied. The next Attorney General needs to also have confidence that the Deputy Attorney General, that they will work well together, they'll be on the same page, and they will start to implement. And I agree with you. This is not just doom and gloom here. We do not have to go down the road of it, never being able to change DOJ. The right two people in those positions can change DOJ. Like
I've been watching this really funny thing on Instagram.
And if they're on the same page,
it's an
and they
entire
don't let
series,
anyone
and
else,
for some reason,
undermine
so there's this person who has a pet snake named Tofu,
they
right?
can do it.
So
And for some reason,
that's why it didn't happen.
this is completely
this
fascinating,
snake,
Tom. So,
Tofu,
so you were part of the team that put together
hates
a plan.
Markiplier's face. Out of all the things for it to absolutely despise, it for some reason, whenever it sees Markiplier's face, it just starts revolting in pure anger.
And that your plan wasn't followed because there was a total
The owners
misalignment
tried
between
to
the
show
General
it
and
like
Deputy
different things, many different things, and it doesn't care about any of them.
At the heart of what
Other than
happened in this
Markiplier's
instance.
face.
Wow.
The plan that they were handed
It's a
was
snake.
not just a
Yes.
plan of how to
Yes, and it just hates Markiplier's face
or
for some
anything like
reason.
that. This was not policy. This was structure.
So they try to
This was
give him
authority
good
plan.
attributes.
This
so
was
the
how do
snake's
you
just
reorganize
not
the
having
Department
it.
of Justice in a manner
and
that would
they tried showing many
And
different
all
videos
those
of like
that
different
are working
YouTubers
for him
and different
are gonna
faces
get
of
on
other
the same
people like
page
Ryan
and
Reynolds.
implement
The
the
snake
president's
doesn't care
priorities. And
about
one thing
that.
that Tom
It
said
just
earlier,
cares
and
about
I'll reiterate
Markiplier's
as
face.
well, it is not a bad thing, an unethical thing, or an illegal thing for the Attorney
pretty
General
hilarious.
to be enforcing the priorities of the president that they serve. They are
You get
all
that?
part of the
Get it?
executive branch. We have gone down this road of attorney generals have to be independent. No, that is actually what has caused the
blueberry
Department of
waffles,
Justice to
yeah.
believe it is the fourth branch of the government. And they are not. They are not. And the media has bought
I'd
into
say
it.
blueberry
And the
waffles,
left screams it all the time that there
and
has to be
Jimmy Bean
independence.
are
No,
his
there
three
doesn't.
favorite breakfasts.
They are both in the executive branch, and the president is the head of the executive.
Those are the top 3 requests for breakfast. Yeah. For the Jimmy Dean, he likes the sausage, egg, and cheese croissants. I tried those with him. Yeah, they had turkey sausage and egg whites and stuff. Yeah, he tried those once last year. It's way different than the Jimmy Dean's. Yeah, he likes the blueberry waffles, Jimmy Dean's, and then he's at eggs. He loves eggs, egg sandwiches, scrambled eggs, egg salad, deviled eggs. Speaking of which, we want to make some of those today. Oh, where'd that other one just go? Yeah, I see. Alright, yeah, we're probably gonna do some more reading in a little bit.
So you got both these teachers in jail for child grooming. I mean, you're going around telling their kids you don't have a gender? Look down. You're wrong. Like, it's so stupid. Like, what are we doing here? So you got both these teachers in jail for child grooming. I mean, they're going around telling their kids you don't have a gender? So you got put these teachers in jail for child grooming. I mean, they're going around telling their kids you don't have a gender? Look down. You're wrong. Like, it's so stupid. Like, what are we doing here?
Hi, I'm Jinx. I go by they at pronouns, and I am the vice president of GSA, and I am Cal's father.
Hi, my name is Steve.
Jinx?
Pronouns they, them. And I'm GSA secretary. One little fact about myself.
Yeah, what about you?
That I like public speaking.
Wow.
Hello, my name.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Well, there it is. Holy shit. It's a contagion. Well, the thing is that, I mean, again, the more you allow people, like, oh my god, bro, like, you gotta do something about the mass psychosis. I don't even think this is mass psychosis. I think it is just as simple as, I mean, middle schoolers, I mean, you're basically, I mean, you're going in there for the execute whenever the boss is at like 1% HP. Like, telling middle schoolers that they don't understand their sexuality should be fucking illegal. Like, they barely, even if you tell them they do understand it, they won't believe you. So, like, it's the easiest thing to do, right? I mean, god damn, you're spawn camping them, exactly. And so you're grooming them, like, you've got they're adults that are doing this. It's insane how this is happening. It's hidden maps that are trying to sexualize children and groom them. I think that if you made a Venn diagram between the people that want to introduce this type of gender ideology to children and people that are pedophiles, and you did another Venn diagram of the general population and pedophiles, I think the people with the gender ideology and pedophiles, those two circles, they'd be closer together.
This week, buy any large pizza at regular menu price, get a large one topping free.
It is sad. And yeah, what was going on too within a lot of the different communities and areas of concern with some of these more hitting abusers involved with a lot of the trafficking of files, microchips and stuff, with a lot of the real and fake child and animal pornography on it. Yeah, that's pretty extensive when you start looking into it. I know a lot of the ones in Florida and different areas that have been covering that stuff pretty heavily and have been horrified. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago they put some talks out about that and the microchips being sold on the street. Yeah, and people telling them about that, you know, I mean, I'm sure people that are aware of those things and what we've been speaking out about and those traveling bans and how that gets just kind of thrown in the mix of all the sales and ghost hunting, alien hunting, marketing, movies, music, YouTube channels, chasers, feeders. Yeah, and some of the punks that are of heavy concern in some of those areas, I can remember them just with the rhetoric, pushing the Jew hate, whatever they could, they were hitting on those handful of things: religious, race, sex. They'd make comments if there were male teachers, and some of the good people that were well trusted, and they work in establishments that are well watched, where there was no concerns of abuse. Just because they were a male, men shouldn't be working with kids, right? Probably a child molester. Yeah, and the worst abusers are the ones spreading that rhetoric directly. We can tell you that personally, and others too. It's really sad and scary what's going on in some of these communities, and we do hope they address it soon. Yeah, them. Many others already have. And as you can see, they're doing the best they can. Many others are getting attacked just for even trying to talk about the vaccines or SSRIs, so think about that. Yeah, and then when you look at a lot of these psychotic areas, what is this, a whole middle school? Their entire middle school identifies as transgender and non-binary. Make a statement. Maybe we'll make the news. Show them. I don't know, dude. It's just sad, I guess. No, I mean, and yeah, I mean, if they're happy, right, that's what matters, right? If they're happy, right, don't let it get you down and be sad. Just, we're speaking in general, you know, on an overall scale. Can you hear everything we're talking about? Innocent people being killed, children being tortured and murdered. Yeah, many get lost in the headlines, I guess. I don't know.
Idea that you have a bunch of random teachers that are going around telling your kids they don't know what gender they are. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Absolutely insane. Like, I get that, like, if you're 19, if you're 21, if you're 18, you know, you're an adult, right? You can vote, you can sign up to be in the military, you can buy a gun. Like, you can decide what gender you are at that point, right? You want to go through trans surgery and do that and, you know, go through all this crazy shit? Go ahead. Like, who gives a fuck, right? I don't care. But the problem is whenever you're doing it and you're 12. That is the issue. And the problem with that is that they learned all this vocabulary from an adult. They didn't, you think it just spawned in? You think this just happened on its own? That they just all came up with these ideologies and these perceptions on their own? No. These are people, like if these people didn't have internet access, would they still be this way? The answer, in my opinion, is obviously a no. So if you have internet access that is enabling these girls and boys to have this like fucking myopic, deranged view on their own sexuality, I think you've got a pretty big problem. No public funding.
Someone just made an interesting comment.
You think this just happened on its own? That they just all came up with these ideologies and these perceptions on their own? No. These are people, like if these people didn't have internet access, would they still be this way? The answer, in my opinion, is obviously a no. So if you...
I know, the ones in class, they don't like disagreeing with Ashman because they really like him, but they said, well, they agree with a lot of the stuff he's saying. It is not obviously a no, because a lot of times we see the exact opposite, where a lot of the abuse cases, they keep them from going online so they can't tell anybody. Yeah, and they're more easily left out of the loop of information and exposed to less ideas. Right, when they're just like, you know, compounded in like a cult type. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you could almost do that too. Those kind of areas and communities or households can use the internet in ways to help push the children in that direction, and that's very much what they have been doing on and offline, and it's very scary to us. I think Roblox and others have been kind of called out. Right, not Roblox themselves, but just those applications and platforms being used heavily by those activist groups, networks, state workers, psycho citizens. Facebook and Roblox seem to be two of their favorites.
Of internet access that is enabling these girls and boys to have this like fucking myopic, deranged view on their own sexuality, I think you've got a pretty big problem. No public funding though? Yeah, go ahead. Don't expect me to pay for it? Well, yeah, obviously. Like, I mean, yeah, let's... Do I think that we should pay for cancer treatment or trans surgeries? Do you want to cut a cancer off or do you want to cut a dick off? Ah, geez, guys, it's a really hard decision. And so, yeah, I think everybody's on the same page with that. But I've seen this, and I think that, like, again, how are we not going after these people? How are we not going after the students, and not the students, excuse me, these are kids, right? They're not, these kids are victims, really. I mean, they're victims of this. They're victims of grooming. But why are we not going after the parents? Why are we not going after the teachers? And like really going as far as, again, we allow it. Yeah, we allow this to happen. We do. We allow this to happen. And I think that we should be absolutely militantly aggressive against this. We should. This is deranged. And if they brainwash a new crop of freaks like this